Cal Poly Student Housing South is a dormitory project here. It's known SLO. We've got 9 buildings. 7 of them are dorms. We've got a parking garage and then what I call kind of a little 1.5 story retail wraparound. There's some offices, a classroom, mail room, and such kind of that goes around the parking garage. It's concrete structure, so it's definitely something we're interested in. Webcore, we self-perform the concrete. Let's see, contract. It's a form of design build that Cal States are trying to get into, which is one of their kind of lead projects in pursuing that kind of procurement, which is really exciting.
Who is a part of your guys' project team right now from Webcore?
So Webcore Concrete is a separate division, so they're one of our subcontractors. You know, we share an office space with them, but there's kind of a distinct separation between us and them. They're still part of our team, but contractually and when we manage them, they are one of our subcontractors. So they have a superintendent and then 2 engineers working for them, and then they'll have a couple project managers that split time between here and the central offices. And then for the Webcore core and shell side, which is the side that Matt and I are on, there are 3 project engineers, so Matt, myself, and then Cody, and then there's 2 assistant project managers, and then a project manager, senior project manager, project director, an administrative assistant, a safety manager, 2 superintendents, and sorry, there's 3 assistant project managers, not 2. So I was forgetting about Steven. So I am the lead champion for the project. So like Matt mentioned earlier, this project is a lead project. It's actually lead platinum. Oh, wow. So we're going for the top spot, and I work with our sustainability manager that's out of San Francisco to ensure that we're tracking for that. I also manage the documents, so whenever we get new documents from the designers, I coordinate getting those approved and getting them stamped by the fire marshal and then incorporated into our digital sets. And then I manage Cal Drywall, who's doing our framing, plaster, and I help out with the interiors. So those are my day-to-day tasks.
I'm entry-level product engineer. I have responsibilities. So it's kind of my daily tasks. I think that's what you're going to next. I help quality control, inspections, facilitate inspections, make sure we're on top of our relationship with the inspector and our subs are communicating with our field. And then also helping with MEP scope, RFI submittals. Previously I helped with some of the BIM coordination, so now kind of second half of that is QC and just actually seeing it get done in the field.
And then posting RFIs and things like that. CMIC for the internal RFI cycle, and then Prolog for submittals and the external or the university RFI cycle. And we also use Box quite a bit to distribute files. But I can see that changing to Bluebeam, because Bluebeam can do pretty much everything that Box can. Bluebeam Studio can. We have a bunch of stuff depending on what's going on. We have this kind of shoring system that Webcore Concrete's using. Right now it's mostly set up out at the parking structure. And then we also use them for the dormitories. So it's designed so that it can be adapted for use in the different buildings without having to redesign and re-engineer the shoring system. So we're doing that, and then we just put up the scaffolding up on the first dormitory building, building 4E, which is the 3-story building that's closest to Slack Street. So right now that scaffolding's up, and once we start building out the interiors, we're going to shrink wrap it, so to maintain the integrity of the interior, so it doesn't get water damaged.
Kind of indicate where we're going to lay down site trailers for each subcontractor. Excavation for spoils of the footings. You need a stockpile area, so the truck can easily come in, get loaded with the excavator, and come out. So come out at gate 5 or gate 2. General things you kind of want to show is like fire extinguisher or fire hydrant locations. So an event of emergency, right? We now have fire hydrants on site, but they're not active. So it's communicating to everybody where fire water is in case you needed that. You want to point out kind of existing conditions or high voltage areas. So we do have the existing transformer and power, which feeds all of Sierra Madre and Yosemite. So when you send this out, you make sure that people aren't storing stuff all on top of that area. You can have some access. Kind of go down as primary tracking route. We had to provide parking for our crews. So every month it got updated. We used these 2 pads as parking at one time. But now we're doing the foundation, so parking's kind of very much limited up to the north area here.
Got it.
Kind of show how pedestrians can get from your site to their trailers, right? So we have a pedestrian walk path along Pacheco. You have haul routes, stairs, point out no construction areas. So when you talk with their subcontractors, hey, Slack Street, it's in our contract, we cannot park there. There's a school over here, they don't want any interruptions. So when we sit down with all the trades, that's something we go through. So this thing evolves. It's a living, breathing document. We show like WCG. That's our laydown area for all our formwork. So you can kind of get an aerial shot of that. Crane pad areas. We signify washout locations, and then debris boxes. And it's small, but we're starting to show like kind of where we put our bathrooms for tent bathrooms, like you said. When we start plaster. So 4E is being built out. We show the exterior scaffolding there, and then where the plaster silo will be. So as people come in with deliveries, hey, where can I lay down stuff? Well, don't put it there because I know a silo is going to be out there at the end of the day.